Hey guys, it's Christian Scene here, back from CNH Smallings again. I'm giving a another review of another one of my firearms here. I got here. It's a American-made Remington shotgun. The specific model number type is a Mohawk 48. These were made back in the late 40s to the late 50s. And they only made about 250,000 of these things out there. It's not really a collector item out there for that, but I had this gun for a few months over here, and it's a great gun, basically for like like planking or taking it up to your cabin or your rifle range, because basically you can take it to your rifle range if your range is able to shoot, I should say, if you want to shoot slugs. My local rifle range, the McKeesler Sportsman Association, you can take your shotgun up here as long as you shoot slugs. Basically, I shoot Wolf Power, Power 1 ounce rifled slugs in this one. Plus, I also shoot the Remington high brass 12 gauge slugger slugs also in this thing. And I took them up to the range here about a week ago up here just to double check it, because it's been in my safe for a few months here, and I just want to see how the accuracy was again with it, and it's still pretty good up there. Basically, a man-sized target, if we want to shoot at it, basically you put in, I say put in the middle about there. If you shoot with the one slugger I got here, the Wolf powered slug, it shoots down and right, probably maybe about 4 or 5 inches and down to the right there. That's basically shooting unassisted. So basically, I'm sitting up here like this, standing basically. So if you're standing just like that and you're shooting from a non-bench position, that's the kind of accuracy you should be expecting. You're shooting just like that and you're lining up. The slugger slugs, these are a bit oversized than your typical slugs. Remington claims that because of that they're oversized, the actual OD on the slug part is slightly bigger and forms a better seal with your gas, with your basically the shotgun tube right here for that. And they do have higher velocity too, because normally I like to shoot high velocity slugs in my shotguns as well too. These Remington slugger slugs, they're 2 3/4 inch length, 12 gauge, and the velocity is 1560 velocity feet per second. So it's a 1 ounce rifled slug. And I did notice that the groupings were slightly bigger than the Wolf slugs right here as well too. The Wolf slugs, I got three hits basically, all in the same, I say about a 3-inch pattern at about 50 yards. The Remington slugs, they were shooting about 4 inches higher in the same general area. So it was basically, this one was shooting down here and this one was shooting up here. And they were from the target's right over here, so it was shooting about 3 or 4 inches over, and they were about shooting this position from my relative spot. The Remington slugger slugs had better hole pattern as opposed to the Wolf. It seemed to be tearing the paper just a little bit more, rather than having perfectly small holes where it's cutting into the paper backing or for that. But the Wolf slugs seemed to be a better grouping overall, as opposed to shooting the Remington slugger slugs here as well too. These shotguns, as I said before, they were made back in the late 40s to the end of the 50s. It's not really a collector's item out there for that, because of the basically overall, we want to call it cheapness. I don't know how else to really describe it. It does have a wood stock in the back. You get a nice grip here for that as well too. Since I shoot left-handed, I'm always holding like this, so just be mindful of that. I'm left-handed. Most guys are shooting right-handed out there, but it shoots great for me. You also got a nice bolt hole open on the side here. It'll stay open on your last round. That's a nifty feature right there. So when you're done shooting, it'll basically be clean, good to go. The only drawback for this one is it can hold 2 shells up in a tube here and 1 shell in the chamber. So you only got 3 shells in the gun at a given time when you're ready to shoot something out there for that. But other than that, it's not really a limitation if you're just planking or a target shooting out there and stuff like that. And that's basically everything I got about that specific rifle. There's one other thing I want to mention. when you do shoot slugs like your wolf or your any other brand of slugs, they tend to build up a lot of lead right down inside your chamber area, right about here. So it's always a good idea to get a 12 gauge bore brush and get some hoppies or arrow crow or something to loosen up and basically run it back and forth. You can actually take this shotgun apart quite easily. I'll even show you that right now. That's another thing I really like about this shotgun. Let me take this thing down here real quick. I'll show you how easily it is to take this thing apart here real quick. You know, do a quick barrel clean so your barrel isn't going to be jumped up and stuff like that out there. So let's get this thing apart here right now for you guys. Always lock it back in the bolt hold open position right now when you're taking it apart so that it doesn't fly out of there. And unscrew the nut on the top here like so. And you take the bomb handguard off. There you go for that. Then you have your barrel assembly right here. You have your spring mechanism for the recoil as well too, and you simply slide the barrel out of the lower tube assembly, and there you go, voila. There's your lower parts, and you really don't have to do anything with this. If you don't want to, you can take it off if you want to. You can put some grease on the outside right here, just to lube it up and keep it clean so it cycles relatively smooth either for that, but it's really not necessary. You just put a little bit of grease on here and do that. And that's basically a cheap and dirty way of field stripping your shotgun here for this specific type. And you look down the barrel. Since this one still has a lot of lead, it's right past the chamber. I'd say about an inch past the chamber, up about 2 inches. That's where they usually develop all their lead at. Because if you look down any rifle barrel after you shoot, I should say, you look down any shotgun barrel after you shoot a lot of slugs through it, you'll notice that the majority of the lead is built up basically from, let's say, right about here. You're looking at top, right about here, right down to about here. So you get about 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of lead, because whenever you shoot your shotgun shell, the bulk of the lead is going to be sticking right down there. Then as it progresses down a barrel, it's going to be scraping off. So I say from this point on right here, down the end of the barrel, there's virtually no lead at all down there at all. So you just have to clean basically the front first by 3 or 4 inches right here. Then after you do that, just put your gun back together, and now you can take it back up the range. So just slide it back down in here, just like so. Lock it in position. Make sure the spring mechanism cycles okay for that. And just put your hand guard back on here as well too. Let me flip this thing around. There we go. I'm left-handed, so sometimes I do things backwards, so I apologize for that. Put that back on and make sure it's tight and snug. Make sure the stock is completely all the way down on here like so. You should be able to just barely put your fingernail underneath the stock where it makes the back of the receiver right here, and you know it's locked in position right there for it. And put your end cap with the call it the cross. It looks like a cross split piece on it. You screw that back down. You have a little button right on the top here that actually puts tension on top of this thing right here. You have a bunch of little dimples on the back of this piece right here, and it basically it clicks over in position. So whenever it's tight enough, it'll lock in position perfectly fine for that. You just screw that down. You hear that clicking, and that's how you know it's getting tight on there. You just keep on clicking until it gets really tight. So that's basically about as tight as you want to get, right about there. So it feels tight and it's ready to go. Bolt hole opener works great. Cycle the thing a couple times to make sure everything's okay in there for that, and it should be good to go. So that's your basic review of the Mohawk 48 made by, as I said, Remington Arms right there for the Mohawk 48. This gun takes 12 gauge and 2 3/4 or shorter shells. It's recommended you do not put anything bigger than 2 3/4, and it's because it might damage the gun or it might damage you if you do that as well too. So don't put anything bigger than what they recommend for the gun. If you put something bigger, there's a potentiality that the gun may become damaged or become vulnerable and possibly break your barrel in here, and you don't want something blowing up in your face either because of that. So always put the recommended size and length of shells into your shotgun here as well. and basically practice all safe range activities. Keep your gun open when you're at the range. Don't I should say keep the bolt hold opener, and don't leave any shells inside the chamber, or don't leave any shells inside your tube underneath here as well too, for the shell holders as well. So that's basically my review of the Remington Mohawk 48 shotgun. As I said before, these were made in the late 40s to the late 50s. They only made about 250, 270 of these things. They're not really a collectible item, but they're basically, let's say, it'd be a good plinking gun if you're just wanting to get into the shotgun game and you want to buy something for maybe about $200-300 that's still in like good shape out there for that, and basically you can like use the blood water jugs. So it's basically on the line for somebody who's wanting to get into the shotgun field without spending $1,200 to $1,500 on like a high-end Benelli or Beretta shotgun out there for that. So that's one man's review right there. If you have any questions, comments, whatnot, you can email me here. And the ammunition, as I said before, it was the Remington 12-gauge Slugger slugs. This is what the box looks like right here. These ones have a relatively flat trajectory. I forgot to mention that. I'd say at about 25 and 50, it's relatively flat right there for that. You don't really have a bunch of arcing for that as well too. The Wolf Power Slugs, this is my personal favorite for most of my Vepr 12 shotguns, because it provides, I'd say, the best overall grouping for my Vepr 12s. So I personally recommend the Wolf Power Slugs in my Vepr 12s, mainly because some of the Veprs out there, if you know anything about the Vepr 12s, they have a self-regulating gas system on it, and some have a tendency to not want to cycle low grade like bird shot or really low brass, like real lightweight rounds out there, and it's always better to cycle heavier rounds like 00 buckshot or rifle powered slugs like this. And you should use a slug or shotgun ammunition at least about, I think it's around 1,200 feet per second or over than that. These Wolf slugs are about 1,400, I think. So it does a job, to say the least. So I never had a single problem or hiccup with one of my Veprs using this ammunition as well too. So I give it 2 thumbs up. The Remington, I give it 2 thumbs up as well too, because it cycles perfectly fine in this gun as well too. So if you want good ammunition, there's basically target shoot your shotgun out there, get a slug. And basically that's all I can really tell you about that for that. So once again, if you have any questions, comments, whatnot, just leave me a message here. If you want to possibly buy one of these things, I've seen them on Gun Broker on there. They're going for about $200-300 plus. If you have the original box, it might be a little bit higher. If the rifle's in overall great shape, you can probably get a little bit more for that. But it's a fun gun to shoot. It's a good gun to get into the market for if you're just thinking about getting into having a shotgun. You don't want to go out and purchase a rifle, or you just want to shoot something that's basically nice and simple, that's a semi-auto style shotgun out there for that. So that's one man's opinion. So once again, if you have any questions or whatnot, just drop me a line here on my page, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have. Thanks, guys.